Good evening. So after my last rather miserable, very down video, I just want to share with you that suddenly I've been fed a little bit of hope on the television. Can you believe it? There were two programs running one after the other on Channel 4 this evening. That's in the UK. One was called Meet the Family, and the other one was called Apocalypse Cow. Meet the Family was less hopeful, but it is a series, so we'll see where it leads. It was left me emotional because a family who had been given the care of 3 young chickens in an experiment to see how much they might care at the end of that, whether they'd send them to slaughter or to what's the word? Somewhere where they can be cared for. Forgotten the word, for God's sake. Rescue centre or something like that. And they chose to send them to slaughter. Evil bastards. Sorry. There was no need for that. No need to do that. I sat there thinking, fuck them. Fuck those horrible people. Anyway, after that, Apocalypse Cow came on. George Monbiot, a long-term environmentalist, was the commentator. And to cut a long story short, he told us all about most of the stuff most of us environmentally interested people know about how farming is devastating the world, basically. But the hopeful thing was almost twofold, but really effectively onefold. So he did cover how they're making now meat that you can't tell it's not meat from stem cells. In fact, it is in fact meat, but not. Is only from initial cells. I do still have a big question about where those cells are from and how often they have to collect them. And I heard they have to be taken from unborn calves and so on. So I don't know about that at all. So that wasn't exactly the hopeful thing. What it was that some people, scientists, have discovered how to make food pretty much out of thin air, using I couldn't quite understand it all. I'll have to watch it again, but electricity and microbes of some kind, and they could make a complete food source, apparently a very flexible food source that could replace using animals. Seemed completely viable. They are producing it now. Obviously, it's not commercially viable yet, but they're talking about, yes, it will be. And suddenly the world could look very, 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 very different. And the keeping of animals will become history. The murdering and slaughtering and torturing of animals will become history. Unless, of course, the nasty streak in humans continues and they still want to do killing and torturing just for the sake of it, which I can imagine could happen. Yeah, so that will have to be dealt with. That's where I say we need a spiritual evolution, because without that, we're doomed anyway, whether we stop farming, whether we do anything physical and practical whatsoever. If humans still have those same evil instincts, then we haven't moved forward at all. But they have discovered how to make food almost out of thin air. It does need electricity, apparently. That would be the one bugbear, wouldn't it? But as far as I could gather, it's completely doable. I mean, you have to look into it yourself. It's called Apocalypse Cow with George Monbiot. So for me, it has just lifted me a tiny bit from the obvious depths that I had plumbed just recently in mourning for the animals and the earth. Yeah, that's it. The other, oh yes, there was something else as well. There's been mention of vegan things on television, left, right, and centre. Yes, on Channel 5, I think it is. Jeremy Vine was on. I think it was this morning. Yes, I think so. With some vegan food, talking about it. And the other day, I understand. I saw clips of the fact Joey Armstrong was on. Also Jeremy Vine, doing an incredibly wonderful interview and discussion. This is marvellous. This is what I've been going on about. Get it on the television. I've been saying, get it on the television. And there was something else as well, another whole thing. I've forgotten what it was now. That was on yesterday as well. We seem to have an explosion of vegan supportive videos and TV programs. Hooray. So it's what I needed to see and hear. Yeah, I was on about this for a long time. Get these things on the television. And in fact, there've even been snippets of showing the real truth of images of within slaughterhouses, which have been some of the really upsetting stuff. Very brief, but it's been there. It's been shown, and that's what I've been saying. Got to show people the truth. Needs more of it. But they were showing pigs being slaughtered and the pigs still moving and thrashing about, even though they'd had their necks slit and they were hanging upside down. Just probably not showing it for long enough. Yeah, people need to know. They need to be seeing exactly what's going on. Yeah. Anyway, that's a lot of steps further forward today. And I am grateful for that. It proves me there are thousands and thousands of activists out there working really, really hard behind the scenes, getting all this happening. I thank you all for it. You've lifted my spirits. Okay. Before I start crying, I'm going to go. See you soon. Bye-bye.